5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone. Pull up a seat at the table. It is lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 188 is entitled Kim Clemens. Kim Clemens was mentioned by Amy Rayman as the friend who is always there for her. She will be sitting with us at the table this evening, and in fact is. Sit down and find out why she is such a great friend and good person. Pull up a seat at the table and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Watch us live at youtube.com/Lunchtime in Rome, or listen directly on lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it'd be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
Being alone is the worst. Good times aren't as good, and bad times are worse when you're all alone. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. That is how you keep people from being alone, and what this podcast is really all about. We demonstrate that in the first 15 or so minutes of the podcast, and we talk about it for the rest. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, Amy's mom, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome. Rome.
R-O-M-E.
That Rome, not R-O-A-M.
No.
No, that's what the conversation does sometimes.
Rome.
Not with us. Never.
No, not at all. What's up, B?
What's going on? How's your week?
Loaded
That's
question.
funny.
Any fires to put out?
Then I will go first. It is a crazy week. I mean, so much so that I scheduled a very awkward conversation today, assuming that if I scheduled my dumpster fire, that I wouldn't have one thrown to me. The logic did not work at all. And it's like I said this morning, woke up and got an email from Citizens Bank saying that our debit card was attached to our PayPal account successfully. And I was like, well, no, I didn't do that. And it took me about a half hour to figure out that it was my son Joe's debit card. And so then I don't know if he attached it to anything. So that started, so I had to do it. But I got it taken care of. Well, I got it taken care of in an hour and a half. Except this evening I saw Joe and said, hey, did you call the bank? And he goes, no, I meant to. Oh, well, that's
Well, your
good.
intention counts for not much.
Which I have been monitoring his bank account, so
Yeah.
nothing's gone yet.
Well, that's good.
Oh,
so,
that's a fun
an hour and a half.
That's a fun wake up.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, it was a great start to the day. But no, it has been a crazy week. And it's funny because I've talked to a few people, and it seems very consistently crazy that it's a lot of interpersonal, a lot of irrational. And then, well, I mean, like my car getting broken into
Yeah. I saw that on Instagram.
on video.
Yeah.
Which, did you notice? You can actually see there's somebody in my car. Like the person that tries to get into Rachel's car just tries and walks away. But at the very end, as he's walking up the street, you see a light inside my car.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So now I've moved, by the way, for everybody, I've moved the third camera directly in front of my car, so it'll definitely pick up facial expressions and everything else.
So did you take it out of the grill?
No, it was the one off, the one that the raccoon
catching
cam.
the raccoon.
Yeah.
Raccoon
Like nature
cam.
cam.
Well, that's by the way, I've successfully stopped that
Yeah, that's
infiltration for now.
That's
There's been no more.
ingenious.
Well, you
boarded
can't
up the
open your
back.
grill to use it, but it's okay because raccoons can't get in
I
either.
do knock on it every time I open it up.
We get bunnies. So Mark does the same thing. Otherwise, they scare the crap out of him when he opens the
Well,
grill.
that's not the most masculine thing you've ever said about him.
I mean,
He's scared of the bunnies.
would you expect to open your grill and have something fly out at you?
No.
No.
Bunnies fly?
Moving on about your dumpster fire.
But at
of a
least
week.
you don't use your grill much.
No.
So
I had to
that's
shovel
true.
that grill yesterday. But
shovel the grill.
So even that, okay, somebody sort of broke into your car. It's a little violation. And the second time in my life, my car's been broken into and they haven't taken anything, which says a lot about me. But my neighbor across the street said they had their car stolen. And it was like a 10-minute text thread back and forth. Did you catch it on them stealing my car on video? No, it only goes to the street. When did they break into your car? 3:50 in the morning. Did you see my car drive by? No. When were they messing with your car? I mean, it was 2 sentences ago, lady. It was 3:50. And it's like, why is there no stability in this world, or at least in my world?
Yeah.
And the answer is because there isn't this week.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the whole
Stability.
God has been great.
Stability took the week off.
I
Stability's on
I go,
vacation.
God, really? It's just you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
it's kind of the way it's meant to be. You don't like,
But I said it again
necessarily
today
be
to
there.
Rachel. I said, I am so glad we're good. And then, of course, I have to go with my wife. And I go, we're good, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
It's not just a perception that
And I just
have. Like,
leave
this
the
is a
room as fast as
shared-
possible.
Actually, Jay, we
Yeah.
needed to talk about that.
Yeah. So that's my deal, man. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah. You know,
Tomorrow's open, by the way, anybody.
Jay, you don't have any dumpster fires
You have a-
scheduled
I have no
yet?
dumpster fire
If anybody
scheduled.
wants to schedule a dumpster fire,
Reservations
Jay's
for
wide open.
Dumpster fire party of one.
And I even said to somebody, I said it to Duke yesterday. I said, maybe I shouldn't call them that. Like when we have meetings in
Dumpster
church,
fires.
I always say, we're going to go over, before we start the meeting, we're going to go over mountaintops and dumpster fires. If there's anything in your world that you really need to celebrate or that you really are going through that's going to preclude you from really being an active participant in this meeting, let's join you in that. And I always say, it's okay if somebody just shared a dumpster fire. It's okay if you share a mountaintop. Like, oh, my cat died. Hey, we got a new puppy. Like, it's okay. We're still going to be there for you. And I thought, maybe I shouldn't call them dumpster fires. Like, is that
I mean,
insensitive?
To what?
what
Dumpster?
do you guys- what do you guys
Oscar the Grouch? Like, he's very
Trials?
offended.
He's very triggered by that. I don't know. Is it trivialize it?
Yeah.
dumpster fire?
Yeah.
Or
Nobody
does
ever
it make
says,
it
"What do
more
you
accurate?"
mean?
Yeah.
True.
Everybody resonates with that.
Yeah, because I think it is what it is. Words do have power, but that kind of takes power away and puts a little levity into it, calling it a dumpster fire.
Unless, yeah. So you're agreeing that it's okay to call it that?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. You're one for one.
Change
with that.
approved.
Change it. Oh,
So, we're watching a show at your house on Tuesday nights called Special Forces.
we are.
And the reason I bring this up to segue to that
You're
is
joining the army.
no, but
Do you
all
wanna
the
go
things
do
that,
the
Drills?
challenges that they're doing? Yeah. I'm going to go do those.
I'm watching the whole thing like, yes, I want to do this. Like psychologically,
No.
mentally, physically, I want to do all of it. Like put me through that ringer for it's 10 days. Like you could do that. I could do that. But what I want to say about that to tie in with what you're saying is like in this time of uncertainty and testing, it's amazing to see what comes out of people from under the surface. Like one of the, I think like, so in this show, they do like physical challenges, that like, rappelling off the side of a cliff. It's like a trust fall, or they submerge people in a car and they have to stay
So
under for 20
claustrophobic.
seconds, and these are like B-list actors, sports people, people that like
High achievers.
high achievers that, you've seen around. There's like a
And they've
bachelorette.
been tested in some capacity already. One would
Yeah.
think based on their
Yeah,
background,
even like the
based on their-
Bachelorette. Hey,
Right.
you're putting yourself out there.
Or like
And she's doing great.
Like Dr.
She
Drew
is.
was on. I mean, he didn't last long, but
Well,
Uh,
dehydration.
Kate Goslin was on there. John and
Oh.
K +8. She was terrible. I was so glad she left early. But so like they have these physical things that they make these people do based on like special forces training. I'm sure it's not quite as intense that what they're doing, but what I like about it, I think one of the aspects I like about it the most is at one point during the show, all of the 4 instructors get together kind of in this interrogation room, and they'll bring one of the people in that they've been keeping an eye on. And they try to dig into who they are. Why are they there? What have they gone through? And it's been interesting to me to see as the days have gone on, how people are breaking and why they're breaking under the pressure, because the pressure is revealing who they really are, which it always does, So
But that's what I want to. We've said it before, but I think that's a really good point. That I've always said that pressure doesn't change you; it makes you more of what you are, and to a degree can reveal what you are.
Money. What do you want? Money. What are
Money,
the 3?
drugs, alcohol, fame, and trauma. They
Right.
don't really change you; they make you
'Cause,
more of what you
yeah,
are.
adversity doesn't build character or reveals it.
adversity introduces us to ourselves. I heard that being said.
Ooh, that's a little heavy.
One of my former volleyball players always says,
Accurate.
"Pressure make diamonds,
Ah,
not
it's a-
makes.
Make
Pressure make diamonds."
so
True that, yo.
and for you, Jay, like not like watching from the sidelines with what you went through with Trey, revealed the measure of who you are. So like these times, yeah, I don't envy you going through them. I don't, but it's great to see you to being able to walk through and, like you say, navigate these awkward waters with the consistency that you do.
I appreciate
Even
that.
if it doesn't feel like it on the inside sometimes, maybe.
No. I mean, I do handle it the same way, and I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'd rather flip out, or I'd rather, I
Can you do that just one time? Wouldn't that be amazing to see?
well, like I said, in
I don't know if I want to.
I had,
Oh,
a
I-
meeting, I had a meeting today, and I raised my voice, and I actually said to myself, "Oh, you're raising your voice. You should probably lower your voice."
Self.
And
You're
like I said
raising your
to
voice.
Eric,
Self from
I said
over
that
here
doesn't happen
watching.
very often, and he goes, "I've never seen it." Amy Hammond, Kim, your friend,
Yeah.
said to us one time last year on vacation. Anyhow, one of the last 2 vacations, I wasn't feeling well at all. Like something was wrong, and she goes, "Jay, I just want you to know, when you're not okay, nobody's okay." And I said, "That's really borderline not fair." She's like, "I just have to let you know that's the case." So, yeah, I raised my voice, and I was hot, and I don't get hot. I mean, I've had people come at me, coaching and everything else, but it was one of those things where I
Yeah.
got hot today. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
I can't say the same.
You didn't get hot today?
I
Oh, it's
don't-
not fun.
I am not
You're not
level-headed.
even keeled. You get more on the emotional,
Kim.
crazy eyes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
I've been called crazy eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just when you're regular,
Oh yeah, by my husband. It's
They're-
accurate.
you're watching Netflix and it's like Sunday night at 8. Wow, your eyes are crazy.
What are you
What's
thinking?
going
What are you
on?
thinking about? What's
No,
the
he's
internal-
learned not to ask. It's a
Don't
need
ask
to know
questions you don't want
basis.
the answers
Exactly.
to.
Exactly.
But no, Brian, I appreciate that and the comparison. And I do think, after Trey died, and I was like, okay, I graduated, I made it, I stayed faithful, I learned all the lessons, all that kind of fun stuff. Yes, that was the exact thought as I walked off the podium after giving his eulogy. I was like, okay, I did it. I graduated. I passed the test. But then I remember, I don't know how much longer it was. I went, oh, well, that doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I just graduated to the next class. Like, well, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But as things come my way, yeah, you do. You dig down deep into what you've learned and what you know. And, is God surprised by anything? No, we are. Well, maybe we should ask him.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
The other thing I wanted to mention is this weekend was my mom's birthday.
Sari.
Hey, what day?
Sally, it was the 29th. It was Sunday the 29th.
Exactly what's her age now? I'm just kidding.
She is 29 years young.
1 year older than
Yes.
she was.
So we celebrated her birthday. We celebrated on Saturday night, and her birthday was on Sunday. And I just wanted to give a shout out to her because
She was
deserves
very
it.
selfless. I was with her on Sunday,
In
and
what
she
way?
didn't say, it's my birthday.
Yeah,
I had to find out from Facebook.
I almost said it from on stage, and I
Glad you
thought,
didn't.
no, we don't do that here.
No, we
I
don't.
actually almost thought about
This
like
one
having
goes
the
out
band
to the
sing.
lady.
I was gonna have us.
Strikes a really great chord.
I was gonna have us do happy birthday.
We're lifting this one up to you, Jesus, and you, Sally.
If we could praise both of you at the same time, that'd be legit.
Yeah.
Next level church.
But I saw her at Sam's Club today, right after you texted me. I saw her at Sam's Club today, and we had a really good little conversation, and it's cool to see how God's using her to minister and disciple a couple other people in the church, like just, kind of organically.
Yeah.
So be encouraged that there are people doing things.
It's good to know.
Be a sponge, then be a sprinkler.
Look at that.
Right?
Sop it up and pour it out.
Right.
How about you ladies?
Not as eloquent.
What's going on with you?
What's going on with me? So, really fun weekend. Friday night.
It sounds fun.
Speaking of birthdays,
Right. I had one too. That's why I asked what day, because mine was Saturday.
Happy
so-
birthday.
Happy
you.
birthday, Amy. Thank you all so much.
exactly what age? I'm just kidding.
Okay, lie. If you're going to lie about your age, you lie up. Because when you say your mom's 29 and someone runs into her and they say you're 29, so I tell people I'm 67 and they're like, you look great. I know. It's fantastic.
67.
It's a good trick.
It is a good trick, but I'm 46 and I'm proud of it. And like, whatever, it's a number. Whatever, it is what it is. So Friday night, we at the Ronald McDonald House Charities were the beneficiary of a hockey game that took place at Robert Morris
I
Neville
love hockey.
Island. I do too. And it was amazing to watch some live hockey. It was their club team. And they came out in these incredible jerseys they had made up for the occasion. Since we were the beneficiary, they were Ronald McDonald-esque jerseys. No. Phenomenal pictures.
Not Ronald McDonald House.
No,
jerseys.
I mean, they were yellow sleeves,
No,
red and white
get out.
stripes. They had like a fake zipper on the front and pockets. On the back, they had the names. And then above the names, they had 3 Big Macs.
I got to get me
across.
one of those.
Phenomenal.
I want one.
They're phenomenal. They actually auction off all their jerseys, and the parents go down and buy their kids' like, it's really sweet. They
Can you get a
raise-
list of names of all the parents?
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
for sure. Small world kind of fun fact. One of the kids who organized it played hockey at Penn Trafford, has a younger brother who played with my neighbor. I was like, oh, you played at Penn Trafford. Did you play with Nico? And he's like, no, but my younger brother did. So get there, meet him, meet his dad. His dad teaches with my best friend, Megan. Like just this crazy small world. But the coolest part, they had Malkin there to do the ceremonial puck drop.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. So my girl, not me, not Amy. That's okay. My girl's got a picture with Malkin, and it's hilarious because Abby, my older daughter, is like grinning ear to ear, this great big like, oh my god, Malkin smile on her face, and Alyssa's like, met him 25 times before. Whatever. Like, she's just so chill, and it's hilarious to see the juxtaposition in their faces. And then Jeff Jimerson was there to sing the national anthem,
Jeff.
so Alyssa was much more enamored with him. Don't tell Malkin, but whatever.
Wait, which one knows Malcolm?
Neither of them know him.
Well, I mean,
but like Abby
what-
was the one that was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so getting Malcolm."
But which one's the one that has met him like a bunch of times? You just said
No, neither of them have met him ever. But Abby, the older one, was much more like, "Oh my gosh, it's
And
Malcolm."
Alyssa was acting as if.
Oh,
it
okay.
was
Yes, I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
Sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say, because she should tell him maybe the Penguins should do better.
Wow.
We didn't bring
Yeah.
that up, especially
That'd be
because the
great.
night before he failed to score in the shootout and the Penguins lost. But that's okay because the charity won.
That's great.
They
That's
raised
all about the
$10,000
kids.
for the charity, which
Yep.
was fantastic. So that was Friday, and then Saturday I had a lovely breakfast with my mom, just the two of us, which was delightful. Interesting fun fact: a couple people that came in that I did not really want to see. So there was a little moment of like adrenaline and anxiety.
So
of,
you
like,
were somewhere public.
You're in public.
correct, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird, but
Wow.
it was.
Where were you?
First watch.
See, I haven't been. Rachel and I tried to go once, and they took all that information down, and like, we're experiencing about an hour and 15-minute wait.
yeah.
I was like, maybe lead with that.
Right.
Because we didn't stay.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like I'm here for breakfast, not lunch, which
Right, by that point in time.
So, but that was fun, and then
Wait, so you avoided them?
yep,
Ah, love a good avoiding.
and then the girls had soccer, so they were out and about doing that, and then they insisted, even though it was no spend January, they insisted that we go out to dinner because you have to celebrate Mama's birthday.
Aw.
So we went out for dinner.
Wait,
Hey.
no spend January?
That's not even an alliteration.
And it's not.
What are you talking
I wasn't
about?
trying for it. We don't spend any money in the month of January unless
You
it
don't pay
is-
your mortgage?
Let me finish. Unless it is
A basic necessity.
a basic necessity.
Gotcha.
So
interesting.
yeah.
It's like almost like a money fast in
Kind
some
of,
ways. Yeah,
it's-
interesting.
I didn't do very well with it this year, but the things, I mean, I can justify all day long, but I didn't do as well.
Well,
I
it's,
have
it's
in the past.
February now. You can go crazy.
I really
go spend
can.
all
I
you
spent
didn't
$5
spend.
million on the way over here. I
Nice.
just was like, whatever. Anything I passed on the Parkway, I was like, I'll take it.
But I celebrate the fact that to your kids, it's a necessity to celebrate Mom's birthday.
I mean, they just wanted to go to purgatory.
There is that.
No, it was very sweet because
Yeah.
I mean it's at the end of the month, so we're almost at the finish line. So we've done this for years, and it's like, okay, we'll just go out in February. Like, who cares if it's the actual day? But they were insistent, so it was
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. And then I get to start the week with being off on Monday because our charity gives us a day off for our birthday. We have to take it in the month.
Wow.
Any day the month of your birthday you can take off. So I took off Monday. And then I worked from home yesterday because the roads were icky. And my boss sent me a message and said, feel free to work from home if you'd like. And I was
Done.
like, right. That's fantastic.
Yep.
And now here we are Wednesday and I get Kim.
It's great.
So,
What
I
a-
mean, it's
what a
just
great
a banner
5-day
week.
stretch.
Kinda,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not mad about it.
And we are super excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. Like, that is a great run. You know, from Saturday or Friday was
Yeah.
hockey,
Yeah,
Saturday
it's pretty
birthday,
cool.
Sunday.
And how many times in life do we just get in the doldrums where it's almost Groundhog's Day's tomorrow, but like it's literally like you're doing the same thing and it just passes you by. So I'm sure that you have, and it sounds like you are, but savor those moments. Those because they're not they don't seem to be as abundant as they should be in life sometimes.
Well, I think sometimes we're we are not as aware of them as we should be. So they may
Correct.
be there,
Right.
but to your point, we're busy and
Right.
maybe our priorities are a little out of whack or our focus isn't there. I've been reading at night with Alyssa lately, and I haven't done that for a really long time. And we were kind of lamenting about like, my sister's a librarian, so like books are like, we have books. And we really haven't been reading. And the last few days we've been getting into it. And it's funny because last night I was just really tired. And I looked at Mark and I was like, she's going to want to read. And then I was like, hold on, let me reframe. She's going to want to read. And then we went upstairs and I read for 25-30 minutes with her, and it was
good
just
mom.
try to be. It's
Some
a
would
lot.
call her a momdle.
Role momdle.
Role momdle.
That would be your cue,
Yeah,
Kim.
she really is.
So here I am at the table. Brought my friend Kim. Carpooled. Had a little road trip conversation. I told her, I was like, it's just going to be like this, except you'll be wearing headphones and talking into a mic. But otherwise, it's the same, and we won't be in a car.
Do you
So
wanna
it's
give-
really not different.
Do you want to give Kim the rock star introduction? That
She's amazing.
okay.
There you go.
Great.
So yeah, Kim and I have known. It's been 10 years.
That's a long time.
It's a real long time. And when you think about what has happened in those 10 years, like both of your munchkins were born.
Right.
Alyssa was not on the planet when we met. Like
Right.
lots and lots has transpired. We both attended the same high school, did not know each other in high school.
Another Panther.
Rawr.
Indeed.
Only reconnected well after high school and college, but through a mutual acquaintance, got connected. And
So wait, were you in school together?
Oh, no.
she's a lot younger than I am. I'm 67, remember? She's way
right.
younger.
And I'm 20.
Yeah. She doesn't buy into the Amy Rayman overestimate
She
thing.
does not. She does not. She's her own
I go by
person.
half.
So you went to the same school,
Go
but
by
you weren't
half.
at school together.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Reconnected.
And so it's ironic that I don't know that I could introduce like, oh, and then it was like in March and we went to this conference or this meeting at the same place. I don't really know how it
Like the
happened.
milestones.
Right.
Like-
I don't know
Yeah.
how it like transpired. Like it just all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, Kim and Amy like talk all the time now. It's like it's a thing. And
you don't have a cute meet.
correct. We
But
don't.
It started virtually. I think we were virtual friends for a while first.
Yeah, that
and
sounds
then we
right.
hadn't met in person for
No.
years.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
And then you started the Tuesday gratitude thing, which we've been doing for 8 years now.
At least.
Can you expand upon that, even though you mentioned it before?
So Amy,
Yeah, I'd love to hear your perspective.
on Tuesdays, Amy started sending 2 things that she was grateful for and asking for 2 things I was grateful for. And that started 8 years ago. And there is not a Tuesday that goes by that either of us miss it. And it can be an absolutely horrible, horrific day. And we will have to pull out 2 things that we're grateful for. And it's something that's constant and it sets me back on track. And I think that's what really blossomed our friendship and had us open up more to each other, get to know each other better, and develop an actual real relationship.
That's fair. My phone auto corrects now Tuesday. Even if I want to say like, Jay, are you available for lunch on Tuesday? My phone auto corrects it to TWOSDAY because it's 2 things. And Kim's exactly right that sometimes they're really deep and like super meaningful, and other days it's like it's been a dumpster fire of a day. So I'm grateful for oxygen and.
Nobody died.
Or
Eyesight.
like I'm grateful that it snowed, so I don't have to cut my grass today. Like
Yeah.
I mean, there are days
Oh,
where
yeah.
and then there are other days where like you read it and I'm like go to respond. I'm like I can't. Not that it's a have to, but I can't compete with that. Like look at these 2 beautiful things she said, and I was about to write back to be like I like nail polish and duct tape. Like I got nothing. I got nothing.
The great part about it is we do that. And you can have 2 beautiful things, and I can say, I'm so happy I'm not in jail right now. Like, that could have happened today very well.
Dumpster fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
Gratitude is such a powerful thing in this life because we live in such a negative world. Gratitude helps your eyes to be open. Like you were saying, a lot of times we do have really great things happen. We're just kind of numb to them, and gratitude refocuses us on the intentionality. We've been talking a lot in the past couple of months about what intentionality does, and being intentionally grateful and expressing gratitude. It's just like planting wonderful fruit in a garden, and it bears so much over the long term. So it's just such a cool thing. And I love the fact that you renamed it, not Tuesday, TEU.
TUE.
How are you spelled
That was
Tuesday?
very close.
Yeah. I love how I should have just
It
led
was
with,
the
I
right
love how
letters.
you renamed it TWO's Day.
There is a guy that I have become. I follow him on Twitter. We've communicated back and forth. We've invited him to sit at the table, but he's kind of a big deal on Twitter, kind of a thing. And he's willing, but he has date night with his wife. Anyhow, the point of the story is one of the things he does is he mandated his whole family that no matter what they said, it had to be followed by gratitude. And he goes, even complaints. So like, I don't want to do the dishes. All right, I'm really glad we have food on the table, but I really don't want to do the dishes. You at least put
It's
something
like
in there.
attaching a comfort to a hurt almost.
That's craziness right there.
That sounds like a good topic for a podcast.
I don't know. It seems like it could barely go 189 episodes. So, Kim, you do the Tuesdays. What's it called? Gratitude Tuesdays. Oh,
That's a better name. He just one-upped us. But good.
Well, thank you for being grateful for that.
I am grateful.
But I mean, she sang your praises.
I was telling her on the way over here, when she told me before what she told you guys about me, I was bawling my eyes out because, I mean, I think so highly of her, but I don't think of anyone on a pedestal. No one. But I do have people that I aspire to grow like, and to have someone that I admire so much think things like that about me was humbling and shocking at the same time.
Why shocking?
I think good things about myself. I don't minimize stuff, but the things that she were saying it made me feel really good and comfortable with the person that I'm growing into being. I haven't always accepted who I was or saw the good in myself or wanted to see the good in myself.
Now, does that go back to, like, you say, I haven't always? And again, being you're 20 years old,
right?
Is that in the last 2 years or?
I mean, forever. I don't think I ever accepted myself up into maybe 15 years ago when I started to try to. And even in, the last few years, and I think it's true anytime we look back at a period of our life, the last maybe 2 to 3 years, I see an extreme amount of growth in different areas. And I'm very happy for that and grateful for that. But the same is going to be true 3 years from now if I keep putting one foot in front of the other, trying to do the next right thing. So I think that I finally wanted to accept myself for who I am probably when I was actually around 20, maybe 30.
To which you said was like 15 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I lied.
And why didn't you before that?
I don't know if that's something that is typical for all of us to go through or if it's I don't think I'm unique in it, but I
would say you're unique in the last 15 years, that you're well aware of that
Perhaps.
growth and that it is a priority.
Perhaps. And
Some people accept themselves too much.
Well, yeah. I think that's something, but I think that I never accepted who I was. I never felt like I belonged enough, and I always tried to be something other than who I was. I don't know what that was. It could be, you, like the person right next to me. It could be someone that I thought was shiny, and
So it wasn't inherently a standard set in your family. It wasn't
no, they loved and accepted me for absolutely who I was. I have amazing family. It was something inside of me, and I still don't know what it is, but I do know that at some point I just decided that it was enough and really avidly tried to work out of that.
Wow, that's admirable. And so what was your high school years like as far as like school? Like what was your friend group?
I had a lot of friends. I was kind and cordial to everyone, but I never really felt like...
Well, before we go that deep, like, were you a jock? Were you in theater? What'd you play?
Volleyball. I heard you talking about volleyball.
Yeah.
Love volleyball.
Yeah. Who's your coach? Fiorini?
Riley.
Oh,
Yes.
Ray Riley.
The best.
Right. Wait a minute.
And I played Junior
Wait, you're
Olympics
how
with
old?
him.
Wait.
38.
So Kate Nemsick?
She's probably much older than me.
No. So you graduated when?
02.
Oh, there's definite overlaps. Keep talking.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not
it-
listening now, but keep talking.
But I wasn't just friends with
Brandon Greeny,
You know,
Shannon Greeny,
I think you're thinking of a different
Krista
school.
Calgary. That's Penn Trafford. I got to go back to Penn or
Franklin.
Franklin.
Blue
No,
and-
Greeny is
Blue and gold, not green and gold.
Oh, I'm
A
well aware.
panther, not a warrior.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I was friends with people on the volleyball team, people not on the volleyball team. I had not friends, I had a wealth of people around me. But I don't really know. I mean, I had people that I guess I was friendly with, that I hung out with and I did things with, but I don't even know if I knew what friendship was then. I just wanted like the next thing.
Well, you said it yourself. You wanted to belong and fit in. So I feel like it's almost like a Goldilocks and the Three Bears thing.
Yeah.
Like, this group's too big, this group's too small, this group's too this.
Absolutely.
Like, there's just extremes. And I feel like in high school, they are exacerbated. And I don't think our high school is necessarily unique, but every high school has its own challenges. And
Oh, I would not say that Franklin Regional is bereft of challenges.
not at all. Not at all. So yeah, I think that, and I had very similar high school experience. So again, I think sometimes what bonds people together is a unique experience that they somehow feel is only them, and not from a self-centered, like nobody else but me, but you just sort of feel a little bit alone in it, and then you voice it and you're like, oh, you felt that same way.
Right.
Because as you're describing it, it's almost the exact words that I use was like, I was friends with lots of different people, but did I have like, these are my 6 friends that we always went places with? Nope. But was I friendly with a lot of people in different circles? Absolutely.
And you didn't, like you said, there wasn't this big wound that happened. And you're saying sort of the same thing. Like I didn't get, Brian has his traumatic experiences growing up, with friend groups and stuff like that. And many people can say, oh, that was the time so-and-so.
Right.
Like you don't have any so-and-sos.
No, I mean, I
was
probably
just-
was the so-and-so.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
let's go there in a second, but
yeah.
I want to finish my great point, which is
Do it.
there wasn't any so-and-so. Your high school experience was just so.
Yeah.
So very on the nose.
Gratitudes,
But
and
yours-
now the
I know.
so thing. Wow.
Fire.
Does anybody have any butter to put on the side of his head?
Yeah,
Get out
wow.
the door
It's gonna be
later?
tough.
There's
Yeah.
some chocolate.
You
I
just
will
said
have
I-
no problem kicking
Some
you
chocolate
from
chip
my-
cookies
Let them
here.
go.
Which are these
You
for-
were saying you might have been the so-and-so?
I'm sure I was. Like, I can,
Sharp?
Sharp?
Like were you sharp with people? Were
No,
you-
I mean, I think that I felt so much that I wanted the next best thing that I would do anything to get there. Like, I'd hurt people's feelings, I'd share secrets. The mistakes that probably a lot of girls make when they're younger, when they're learning how to be a friend. And
like stepping over top of people to climb the social
yeah, why
ladder.
not? But never wanting to get to the top. Like, it just did it because it seemed like that's what I was supposed to do. And I mean, when you're in school, that's your whole life, right?
That's your world.
And then you have experience afterwards. And looking back, I think, my God, there's all these other people that they're so amazing. And I wish I would have been friends with them. But I was looking for something outside of myself to make me feel better, like I belonged. And I would never find that in another human being. I had to find that spiritually inside from God. And I did not know that when I was that age.
Speaking of that, what was that upbringing like from a faith perspective?
So, I mean, we went to church every weekend. My mom was a church organist. And when we were young, I was at 5 masses on the weekends because that's like, mom's playing the organ, dad was cantering. My brother and I would go. My sister is 7 years younger than me. And so when she came into the mix, I think that we were old enough, like a couple years later, we were old enough that we could stay home with her and we weren't at church all the time. But I mean, I always had knowledge of God. I did not have a relationship with
Certainly.
him until I was older.
Your relationship was, I got to sit through
I
5
didn't want
masses
one.
in a
Right.
given day. That
Horrible.
was the relationship.
Yeah.
5 masses.
Yeah.
Then come like Easter and stuff. Like,
That was good times.
Like Easter cantatas and the whole like midnight
I mean,
mass.
Easter starts on
Uh,
Thursday.
Stations of the Cross.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not a big organ thing though.
No, but we were there.
Dun, dun,
We were
dun,
there.
Dun,
And
dun,
we're
dun.
walking and we're walking.
Flight of the Bumblebee
Yeah.
from one to the other.
Not fun.
No, gosh. I remember we had an Easter thing one time. It was 3 hours. You'd hear like, the glory to God in the
Yeah.
high. And you're like, all right, they're ringing the bells. They're saying glory to. Oh, we're sitting back down. All right.
Yeah.
Up, down, up, down. It's calisthenics.
So yeah, that wasn't a real intimate relationship
Oh,
with
no.
Jesus.
No,
That
but
was an
and it's not
obligation
because
with
it wasn't
Jesus.
fostered. Like
No,
my
it's
parents
there.
tried.
Yeah.
And certainly, the opportunity was there, but I just didn't know it and I didn't want it yet. Like I was still seeking.
Sure. No, I get that. And where did you find it? Because you talk
I-
about it as
I-
if you do now.
I didn't. I found it. Well, then I didn't.
No,
but,
that's what I meant.
I don't know. I think that I had to hit a low, like an emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, just like an all around low where I didn't know where my life was going. And I didn't even know if I wanted to go on. It was just dark. And like I don't remember where I heard, but like the flimsy reed, was out and I grabbed it and it was God. And I was able to start building a relationship with him and realize that like there was more to life than just trying to find the next best thing.
The flimsy reed.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that, but that was in my head.
No, I like it.
like the last straw kind of
Maybe.
a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
But it's flimsy, so it's like it's.
But I
support,
grabbed,
But it's not.
yeah.
Like,
well, I don't know. I grabbed, like, I just always envision like being done, like just I'm done, I'm drowning, and like grabbing out, and like God was there, my dad was there, my mom was there, my family wanted to help me just feel better and not be in such a dark place anymore. And I think at that point I was like, wow, they actually really, like, I knew they loved me, but like they love me.
It was a
you know?
demonstration that was different than anything else.
Yeah.
Like anything that other, like a kiss on the head, like I love you, bye, have a good day, is like, yep, like kind of like, hi, how are you? Fine, thanks, how are you? Like the knee jerk reaction versus like sincere.
Absolutely. And like I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to do the best at volleyball or get straight A's or, do whatever to have them love me. They just did.
Unconditional.
Was chasing the next best thing the thing that drove you into that dark place?
Absolutely.
So you just felt like vanity, like everything's vain and empty and trying everything.
Yeah.
And nothing is filling me.
Nothing until, I got a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly that has struggled over the years. It always does. It's a relationship for me.
Right.
It doesn't struggle on his end.
You have sit-downs with him every once in a while?
I do.
He's
Listen,
like,
God.
I do.
Intervention
But
time
here's
here,
the thing.
God.
Like, I'll
I'm
actually
fine. I
talk
don't
to
need this,
him.
Kim.
He can take me being mad at him. Like, he's so fine with it. He can take me doing crazy eyes. He can take me raising my voice. And he's totally fine. And he loves me no matter what, So that's what I was looking for, but I didn't know it. And if you would have told me, I would not have believed you.
Oh, certainly not.
In your chasing of the vain things, what were some of the things that you thought were so shiny but left you most empty?
Probably people the most. Relationships. Oh my, my. Alcohol, like shopping, using anything outside of myself to try to feel better. Never worked.
You're like, we tried them all.
Did.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
distraction, right? You can be just like the sugar rush. You eat some sugar, you feel happy for a moment, and then you crash hard. So
Food is a good one. I mean, no, it's not, but it's one of them.
I like
that I chase.
Yeah.
Did you ever gamble?
Oh yes.
back alley craps games,
Those dangerous Murraysville scratch-offs. She used to peddle
We
those.
scratch them off with $100 bills. We roll it up real tight.
And then you, whoop, anyhow.
I think
Some.
the analogy that I use, because I'm right there with you in a lot of, so many things. But like the analogy that I like to use sometimes is that chasing, that trying to find the next thing. It's like we all have like 500 channels on our TV, and you can just be like, flipping through them mindlessly. Maybe you watch something for 10 minutes, and then once you're done and you're like, I'm going to go to bed, you just like, you're like, at least for me, I just feel like, what the heck? Like, you feel empty, you feel depleted, like that's to me what that chasing of the empty things is. It's just you chase and you chase and you chase, and it's just, what did I do?
Well, absolutely.
And
then I think like, even if I were to get all the things that I thought I wanted when I was feeling so empty and down, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate them, to love them, to live a life. And ever since I feel full in my heart and I know who I am, that I have this wonderful husband, I have these amazing kids, and they absolutely drive me nuts. Like, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, but I appreciate them so much. I appreciate my mom and my dad, my siblings, friendships so very much. I'm able to see those things now and see that they're gifts.
yeah.
Why did you reach for that read? Like what? Because to me, it's too good of a story, if that makes sense, in that, man, I chased everything and I realized everything wasn't there for me. And then, all right, I tried God out.
I
And
think
man,
I wanted
it was,
to
and I'm not
die.
trivializing it.
No. I think the fact that I like literally wanted to die, like was thinking about dying.
Were you contemplating?
Oh, absolutely. And it wouldn't have mattered if I would have at that point in time. Like it could have been any means. It could have been by my hand. It could have been by drinking too much. It could have been by like wrecking my car. I just didn't
So
want
you're
to do
like
this
completely
anymore.
numb. Just numb.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And again, not because of anything.
No.
But just bereft of purpose and anything to
And
attain.
desire to keep going. Like if that's all there was, I didn't want to keep
It's like a
doing that.
Nietzsche moment, kind of like life is pointless. There is no, we're all nothingness. So what does it matter?
And like probably that I had missed whatever chance I was supposed to have, because shouldn't I have the world, in the palm of my hand
Because they,
as a
whoever
young
they
20 something?
say.
Yeah. And I didn't. and I didn't know where I was going. Had tried a few different colleges, didn't do so well. I mean, I went back when I was older and finished,
Which is remarkable.
but I just didn't know, like, I didn't have anything.
So with the grabbing of the reed, so to speak, was it because you had been to church and you had heard, hey, in your darkest hour, there's Jesus? Because, like, I grew up in church too, and I heard that so many times, and I heard so many people give their testimonies like, oh, I tried everything, and then I became a Christian, and my life's all better now. But what was it that, okay, you're in this dark black place, everything's meaningless. How did your conversations with God, if you don't mind sharing?
Not at all.
How did you...
Yeah.
How'd the light bulb come on for you to
So-
say, all right, I want to start a relationship?
What's the literal application of the figurative grabbing the reed?
I mean, I guess a lot of things had happened up to this point, but I was gone. I was away from my family. My dad came to find out where I was, and I was running around partying too much, and he just said, you can come home. And I think at that point in time, like, I saw...
Are you literally far away from home?
No, not far, just not at home.
Got it. I didn't know if
and-
like he drove to Colorado or something. Like,
Maybe like 20 minutes.
okay, cool.
And he said that, I could come home. They would help me get back on my feet. And I thought, okay, like one more time. But that one more time, them showing their love to me, my mom and my dad extending their hand to me one more time after all the crap that I put them through, was just like, okay, I'm going to try this again. And it gave me enough respite from that dark that's when the conversations began. But they didn't begin like, God, please help me. Because I thought God had like this tablet with like these slashes of all this bad stuff I did.
Oh, yeah.
And I came to find out that wasn't the case.
I think it's more like in a pool hall, the sliding
Real
score,
big.
that they're way to the
Oh,
one
yeah.
side. Yeah.
Accurate. But I realized that was not how God operated, And I could start all over with him. So I started out slow with him.
Do you think your parents coming after you, like, and not like we're coming after you, but like reaching out to you in the darkness, like I've come to have an attitude in life of there's certain people that God wants me to go after, like I'm not going to be their rescuer, but I'm going to be intentionally a light in the darkness to them and speak life and their heart into their hearts. Do you feel like in that moment your parents came after you, and do you feel like that was a major connection to help you pull out of that darkness?
Huge.
Somebody cares about me. Somebody who absolutely cares about me. That's meaningful. That's not empty, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that was pretty huge because I kind of thought they were done with me. Like this was our mess up kid. It's the toss away one. It's the first pancake, but I was the middle child. And
A middle pancake doesn't.
yeah, right. It doesn't work out that good.
See, that's even more the misfit.
Right?
You should have been the perfect pancake.
But
We were all
it was
square
really
and
big.
whatnot.
It
Yeah.
was really big that they were willing
Yeah.
to bring me back. And now having kids, I can't imagine ever telling my kid, I am done with
Yeah.
you. But at that time, that's what I thought because I didn't have that experience.
Yeah, you and I, there's a lot of similarities between, how we pulled out of the darkness and formed a connection with God again. And like, I look back and like the prodigal son story, that was me, that resonated with me. And I feel like when I listen to you, because that parent did love unconditionally despite all the mess up with both kids, because there's, that's a whole different subject, but, especially the one that went, spent the fortune, all that stuff, having that unconditional love and acceptance, even regardless of what you've done, can often be the difference between, life and a life of despair or, death,
It was for me.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I celebrate just your parents' faithfulness, both faithfulness in you and in your worth, but also in God, and that time coming and saying, hey, and modeling God, because it's God saying to you, you can come home.
Right.
It's the parallel. I mean, it's
the perfect parallel.
Exactly. It's very scripted in the sense that you couldn't write it any better. Like that is God talking to your parents, and then your parents saying, okay, God said this to me, I'm saying this to, like.
But like at the perfect time too.
Well, and you said it earlier, you had to be ready to hear that message.
Right.
Had they said that same thing to you 3 weeks earlier, 3 days earlier, you may not have been as receptive, or you may not have been able to believe those words. You can come home. Nuh-uh.
Well,
No, I can't.
There was points where I remember my mom filled 2 garbage bags and dropped them off at a house I was staying at and said, we are done. And so they continued to do things like that for years. So and again, now that I'm a parent, I can't imagine how hard it was for them to do those things that they had to do. And I feel like, ever since that point in time, I've been trying my best to show them that, like, I love them. Not that I was worthy of that, because we all are. We are all worthy of that. But that, like, I love them and I am so grateful for them. Kind of like living out. You know how we talked about before the podcast, like, you don't just say you're sorry.
Yeah,
you have to show it. So I'm living that. And, yeah.
Without keeping score.
No,
Right.
trying not
Which
to.
is hard.
Yeah.
Because you do what you can, and that's good enough.
I'll never
for
be
that
able
day.
to pay them back for that. You know what I mean? So there's no score.
But they
Right.
probably feel the same. They probably feel like they can't do enough.
Well,
to,
right.
Like,
and like, I really hope I never have to go through that with my kids. But I have amazing.
How old are your
role
children?
models, 6 and 7, and they're perfect little angels that drive me crazy.
Never sinned.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
remember, I'm here. Remember, someone who knows.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. They're amazing. They're so amazing. Oh my God, they're amazing. Kim.
You'll-
Amazing.
There's a, I think it was a commercial or whatever, but it's like, TV show, and they're like, huh, have kids, they said.
That's the name of a podcast, actually.
And I said it one day at church about, I think it was to Eric or to Amy, and another lady, Brenda, who has
A tribe
5,
of a
6,
nation.
I don't know how
86
many.
children.
390
So I'm telling
she's a
Eric or
Duggar.
Amy, hey, and they said, have kids, they said. And Brenda, out of the corner, she goes, they didn't know. They didn't know.
Whoever
They
they
know.
is an idiot.
Yeah, but it is. It's like 90, the 10% of the time makes up for the other 90%.
Right.
But 80% of that 10%, they're sleeping.
Right. They're so cute when they're sleeping.
And then, then they
So
wake
sweet.
up and you're
Yeah.
like, no, please, no.
And they're real cute when they know that they need to be. Like
Oh,
when Alyssa
absolutely.
was 3 and consistently would get out of bed after we would put her to bed, and she would keep coming out. She'd be, Mom, like, honey, you should be in bed. Like, let's go back to bed. But I just wanted to tell you that you're pretty. Oh, well, come back. I'll tell me more. And then she'd be like, can I sit in bed with you and play with your hair? It's so pretty. I'm like, oh my gosh, Alyssa, go to bed. Like, and Mark's looking at me, he's like, put her in bed. I'm like, but she's telling me I'm pretty. Like, how can you?
He's like, I'll tell you you're pretty if you just let us all go to bed.
Yeah, he's like, I'll tell you you're pretty by turning out the lights and going to sleep. But yeah, they are. Her kids are fun. Her kids are a lot of fun.
They're amazing.
6 and 7.
Super actively outdoorsy. Like
Oh.
these kids hike
Hiking,
like 60
mountains.
miles with a smile on their face. And
It's
they're
fun.
like, yeah,
Oh, that's not real.
It's fine.
okay, 60 miles. Am I
In
okay?
Crocs, not 60. No, ma'am. Like, I think 15 was our highest. We'd like to go to West Virginia to the Dolly Sods, and we built.
Okay, so they're with a supervised adult.
Oh, not by themselves. If you want
Hey,
to,
we're going out for a walk, Mom.
if you want to call
We're
my
hiking.
husband and I adults, sure.
We're gonna put the hitch in hitchhike in just a second here.
We've had them going since they were in carriers, and it's a good time. No
Well,
cell phone
that's great.
service.
I mean, that's great family bonding too. From as young as they're going to remember, they're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
remember you guys there with them doing something
quietness of the
spiritual
woods.
and outdoors, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
That's where I feel the closest to God, for sure. Outside. With
Dolly
no-
Saws?
Dolly Sods in West Virginia. It's wilderness. No cell phone service. Can't get an iPad if you wanted to. And it's amazing.
Do you guys camp or just like go hiking?
So we go hiking and usually find like a really cheap motel and then go back the next day.
Oh,
but
like an
this-
old school motel?
Oh,
motel?
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But
You lose
this
a lot of
year we're
amenities when you go
taking
from an H to an M.
this year we're taking them to tent camp. Like we're gonna backpack for real and take them tent camping because they're old enough now. I think
Sure.
they'll be okay to do it.
And they're up for it. Like
Yo, they'll be excited.
They've hiked actual mountains in Crocs. Like they've forgotten. Well, I have forgotten their shoes. you know. And
But see, wait.
mommy have quacks. Like, okay.
You're talking to somebody who the first time I went on vacation with them, we get there with their family, and they're like, we got to go to Walmart. And we're like, why? We're like, well,
Bathing suits.
we let Abby pack, and she packed all winter clothes.
She packed no underwear, no shorts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She was
that
16.
She had snow.
No.
She was
No.
She had snow pants.
What was she, like 8?
Probably 6.
6 or
Yeah.
7.
That's fantastic.
But that's cool because like some of my earliest memories are with my parents camping. I remember my dad lost his mind one night. Like I must have been 10, and we had this old tent, and it was like metal poles.
Nice.
And I mean, if you know my dad at all, which you don't, well, maybe you do. You seem to know everybody in some way. But if you know my dad at all, he's not the most patient guy. Got some anger issues, but I clearly and we were camping so we had the tent. We were with another family that they had a little pop-up camper, but there were 4 kids and the parents, so there were 6 of them, and then 4 of us from my family. We were all supposed to sleep in the tent, and it poured down rain, and the tent was just leaking, and me, my sister, and my mom went and crammed ourselves into this pop-up
left your
camper,
dad in the leaking
and my
tent.
dad's just out there in the rain. Like it's like from a movie. Like I swear there was like lightning, and you could see his shadow, like he was like Sasquatch or
I was
something,
just gonna say squash.
just ripping this tent apart and throwing it. But like we also, I mean, I remember a time where he and I, along with some of this family, we hiked part of the Appalachian Trail,
Yeah.
backpack, and everything's right on your back, and great memories. And like, that's really cool that you
Absolutely.
guys are doing that together.
I mean, all the credit for that goes to my husband because he started getting us out there when they were really little before I thought they even could.
And how did you meet your husband?
We actually met by a chance encounter. However, after we got together, we found out that we may have been in the same circles when we were younger, at the same places.
seems to be
same
happening to you a lot.
parties. It's a thing. I know people. I mean, but yeah, and the rest is history. He's the best. However,
How long have you been married?
oh dear God,
Ish?
Yeah, I wasn't.
I think 8 years ish. That sounds right. Don't ask me when my
June.
anniversary is. Thank you.
Don't tell me June what. I just know it's June.
I'm sorry, Joey.
She loves you more than just one day. It's 365. That's
You
why she
value the
can't remember.
relationship, not the details.
That seat, thank you. Yes.
I'm talking about.
It's good.
Jay's your cheat code to marriage.
Our anniversary is the same day as my parents' anniversary, and every single year I have to text my mom and say June or July, June or July, June or July.
That's kind of awesome.
I think it's June.
It's unique. And so, great marriage
It's wonderful. I mean, it's like a marriage, you know.
not easy.
It's work,
does take work.
but he is the person that I definitely want to spend the rest of my life with.
What are his strengths?
Oh gosh,
He
is
picks good
Okay,
wives.
take the top 5.
He picks good wives.
He is so.
How many?
just the one.
He's originally from Utah.
Wow.
Just the one.
You want to know the truth? No, I mean he's hilarious. He always keeps me laughing, and I think that that's really important. And that covers a ton of different things. He's so loving and compassionate and caring. He is the biggest pain in my butt, though. Like honestly.
How so?
We can go after each other easily in a heartbeat, but it's never over important stuff or big stuff. We don't have like big fights because we are pretty much on the same moral ground, have the same moral code as one another. So our fights are him leaving his dirty socks around the house and then me doing the crazy eyes and flipping out about it and me misplacing like a tool or something. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that those are the things because we're going to fight. Like people fight, right? And you work through it and you have different fights because you work through those fights. I would rather fight over dirty socks on the floor, over, leaving a car window open than big stuff any day of the week.
Right. Because like the foundational stuff, those can be very hard to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
The socks are, all right, they're socks. But
What
there's
do
this,
the socks represent?
do you remember Dane Cook, the comedian?
Oh, yes.
The jelly?
I don't even like. I don't even know. Like, he calls it these nothing fights. He was like, I love being in like the grocery store, and you hear this couple in the next aisle, and you know that a nothing fight's coming. And it's just like, I don't even like jelly. I don't even know what jelly is.
Oh, that's me. Right? But, and you know, life happens and then there's outside stuff, like outside chaos or problems that happen. And he is the person that I want to go, we've been through stuff already. And he is that partner that I want to go through it with. I feel like he fully has my back. I fully have his back and
I wouldn't cross you.
protected. I mean, I wouldn't cross me either.
Hi.
No, I'm
Pranks
eh.
much? The pranks.
Oh, we
the
prank.
prank wars.
It's bad.
What?
So, do you know the little poppers? Like the,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
he put them under the toilet seat one time. That was unacceptable. That scared me bad. It was good, right? I can't even think of all of them. He's done some
put stuff
pretty
at the top.
horrific
He
ones.
put like a talking doll at the top of the steps one night. And
That
then
was
he was
bad.
like, "Are you coming up to bed?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be right up." And she's like turning on all the lights and then goes up to like the creepy talking doll at the top of the stairs.
When we lived in Salzburg, we had a room with like our closed room with a closet in it. He hid a speaker in it, so when I went in there to change, he started playing some song from a scary movie.
Like Psycho.
Yeah, it was really bad. I think I almost had a heart attack that day.
Your need for security is on the lower side of your emotional needs. So
I wonder why. Is it because I feel it?
Well, so go ahead.
maybe the pranks have dulled her need for security.
No, my argument would be you have seen the darkest parts of life and realized, oh, I can be okay.
I'm still
And So
here,
you're not
still
fearing.
standing.
Like if something comes your way, you're like, whatever.
I don't have a lot of fear anymore.
Well, hence no need
Yeah,
for
so I
security.
get that. I can agree with that.
Right.
I
And
shall
the
allow
pranks
that
to
one.
me.
It's one of my lowest ones too.
shall
I'm
allow
like,
it.
whatever.
Yeah.
What?
She goes, "I shall allow that."
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, that's interesting too because you're-
Approval was one.
Right. Well, that's approval is like belonging. Like
Yeah.
how much does it matter?
It did before, but not now.
Right.
And these do change over time.
Right. Well, yeah, no, it's a one.
Right.
You know, because I'm thinking like, what need does it like? Do you like it when he pulls the pranks, or do you hate it when he?
Oh,
pulls
I
the
love
pranks?
it.
Right. So, what need is that meeting? Is it attention, which is
Maybe. Yeah.
right? He's engaged with you.
Yeah.
And
Well, he
the-
knows that she loves it, so he's doing something that he like. Some people would buy you flowers because they know you love that. Some people
Right. If he
would.
bought you
Don't
flowers
buy
all
me
the time,
flowers.
Right,
yeah,
right,
that
but that's
makes
my
all
point.
Like, I
but
love
he-
how funny he is.
And that can be I would think that might be an affection one too. Like that's your thing.
It
You
is.
guys are a married couple. You know, some guys give flowers to show affection. Some guy
Some people have
No,
really.
I'm
he
with
puts
you.
Really
poppers
awful-
on the toilet
Right.
seat.
or have,
Oh, I love you.
But I do. Like that, I do. Yeah.
that's-
because no, he wouldn't do that to anybody else.
No.
So
Oh,
there's like
Right,
there's
there's an
that's your thing. It's like
intimacy.
I was going to say, it's an
How
intimacy.
dare
Like
he
you
put a
guys
popper
only
on someone else?
Oh wait. So, in the greatest TV show ever made, which
Cougar
is
Town.
Cougar Town.
Cougar Town,
Ever heard of it?
right? Andy and Ellie,
Yeah.
their thing was she would forget somebody's name, and he'd say, "Oh, it's Sam and Martha," and then she goes over and she's like, "Sammy, Martha," and then she, he's like this excited. Well, then he did it to somebody else. And so then she was super mad because that's their prank on each other.
Wait, like they gave the wrong name.
He always gives the wrong name to his wife.
Good for him.
But then he did it to their other
Yeah.
friend.
Oh, that'd be bad.
See?
You know, that's cheating.
It's an emotional cheat.
It is.
Yeah, because there's an intimacy of this
It's-
is how we show affection, and I mean
absolutely.
Mark and I call each other like absurd nicknames, and if you didn't know,
Like?
I'm
Look at
Please.
I'm
only
not gonna-
because Kim is here.
I will not say any of them. Some of them because they like.
Well, that's a
I don't
that's a
even
you
know.
guys only thing. It's an intimacy. You can't
We're
betray
just
that.
sitting here. We're
But
intimate
again,
at the table here.
But if people didn't know and they heard me speak to him that way,
Right.
they'd be like, "That's so rude." But like, but he laughs. Like I call him every day that I leave the office. I call him as soon as I get out of the parking garage and have service, and I say, "Hey, what's up?" And there's usually not a nice nickname that follows, and he laughs because he's like, again, because I wouldn't call anybody.
So it'll be
that.
different each time. Like you're being inventive.
Sometimes.
Oh,
No,
okay.
well, not always. Sometimes. Okay, so we're watching Poker Face.
oh, how is that? They're
It's
pushing it down our
I know
throats.
they are. So
So
we
they're
gave
trying
it
a
a
little too
try,
hard.
and I like it. I think, but so there's a it's not a spoiler at all, but she's figuring out a name, and the guy's like, it's Pickleback. So then that became the thing. I was like, Pickleback, which I don't know. It struck us as funny, so then it was Pickleback, but it only lasted like 20 minutes, and he's like, it's not funny anymore.
That's
Pickleback.
cute.
Well, I call Alyssa Pickle Pie, so maybe it was too close to that. I don't know.
And I'm just trying to figure out what a pickle pie would be like.
I don't know. I
Make
don't
a
even
good-
know
I
how
bet
it
you'd
started.
make a good one.
You probably would.
I
Would
bet
you
you'd
put
make
a
a good
pickle
one.
in a sous vide?
Sous vide pickle. There's no purpose.
Yeah.
You don't cook a pickle and you don't want it to get soft.
That's true. Okay. Never mind.
I love
Thank
when
you.
Eric's on tech.
I know.
When Eric is on tech, it's
I
the
miss
best
you,
thing in the
Eric.
world.
You
just
feel very far away from the table.
he is directly involved.
Joey is also, have to give full credit. Joey is the snake wrangler and enjoys
Wildlife.
Very much so. In addition to
Snapping turtles.
which I don't know.
This is more of a hiking thing than an in your house thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
the snapping turtles not in your house. The snakes in your property, not your house, but they're often have been in my property. And I'm going, Kim, I'm like, yo. It's like somebody when you have a mouse in your house and you know somebody with a cat and you're like, can I borrow your cat? I'm like, hey, is Joey busy right now?
Can I
And
borrow your Joey?
seriously, well, the one time
He
I
will
called,
fly.
the one time I called Kim and she's like, oh my God, Aim, she's like, you have a snake, and I'm not kidding you. I heard a car door slam and she's like, he is actually on his way to your house right now. Like I didn't even ask for him. But he came over. He's like, what do I need to do? What do I need? And then he proceeded to take lots of pictures of his children holding the snake and show them to me, which I was like, the whole point of getting rid of it was so I didn't have to look at it. But thanks for that. It's nice of you.
I think one of the sweet ironies of your life, if I may be so observant, is that you always chased relationships until they led you to the one relationship that mattered the most.
God.
And now you're known for your ability to build relationships.
Wow.
Is that a fair statement?
It's very kind.
Because now you appreciate them.
So much.
So much
and I have
more.
very deep, good relationships. You know,
Many deep
I
relationships.
do. I do. That you can like tell each other the truth. If you're being a jerk, you're going to tell the person they're being
Gosh,
a jerk.
I love your frankness. The fact that you'll sit there and say, I have many deep relationships. Like the confidence
Well, I
to
don't
say
want
that.
them. I don't want relationships if they're not.
Oh, you're like, I don't want them.
Well, no,
I got all these
Now
deep
you're my wife.
relationships.
You're
No.
like, I've got far too many
no, like
relationships.
I don't.
gonna
I don't.
scale
It's a
back.
waste of time because you've wasted enough time.
I feel like I have, and life is too short. Like, if I'm going to talk to someone, I don't want to ask you how the weather, like, you
No.
know, oh, you think it's nice outside? Like, that's great, good. But, like, how are you today? And I want to know how you are. Can I help you with something? You know? I don't really feel the need to have small talk. I don't want to have a million people in my life. I want to.
Sorry.
No, go.
Kim will ask you, how are you?
And when you slough it off,
But it's the intonation. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
How are you? And
Yeah.
it is the intentional tone that makes me sit up a little straight. I'm like, oh, I got to answer this. Like, I can't just be like, fine, how are you? And I'll say, I'm good at saying, like, this happened, dumpster fire every week, but it's fine. And Kim will say, is it though? Is it fine? And it's like, oh, hold on a second. I have permission. And I think it's because you've been shown unconditional love that you value it enough to offer it in return. And so you're the person I can tell, like, if I have amazing news, if I have a mountaintop, I can bring it to you and never once feel like, I should not share this with Kim. She's going to think I'm bragging or I'm being boastful in some way.
I love that stuff.
And conversely, I can bring you the dumpster fire and be like, we got to talk this out, or I just need to share this with you, or I got to get it off my chest. I mean, I called you after Thanksgiving, I went down and like hid in my basement because I didn't want my kids to hear the conversation about somebody that we knew that had COVID. And I went through like a million. I was like, Kim, I need to go. And she's like, okay, here, what would make you feel better? And we talked through it as opposed to just like, well, that's too bad. And anyway, got to go to the grocery store. And
So
I don't know.
She truly joins you. She truly goes after you, like I was talking about earlier. And those are very rare things.
leaves the one for the 99.
Those are very rare things. And when people recognize that, you just understand that there's a whole different level of human that you're interacting with, you know, because it stands out. So good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It does stand out. No question. Because that makes her outstanding. Not as
she is a good friend.
I like
that was a pity
puns
laugh.
and like, you
I
know,
was to say that was just a little layup pun.
dad jokes. They're my favorite.
Speaking of dads, my sweet angel girl just texted me.
Hi, Bella. Let's all say hi to Bella. Hi, Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Maybe I was gonna. And she said, "Sorry to interrupt the pod, but there's a lunar belt around the moon, and it looks cool."
And there's supposed to be a comet,
Bella.
A green one.
a green comet tonight.
Yes.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Green. It's a dumpster. It's a
Oh,
waste
that's
management
sick.
dumpster streaking.
That's really cool. That is really
Is that
cool.
what
Wait, what
happens
is
right
it?
before it snows or something?
Oh, that's not my
Can
answer to give you.
we need
That's
a
really,
Google.
really cool.
Is there a Google in here?
Hey, Google.
Hey, good.
Hey, Google.
There's double.
I think it has
Hey,
to do with the
It's a
ice.
double lunar belt. What does it mean?
I
Like a
don't
double
know.
rainbow?
I don't know. Ask Bella.
What does
She's
it
really
mean?
smart.
What does it mean?
Hey, man, I am honored that you
Yeah.
would sit here, and I am excited for us to watch. Did we decide to do that? Yes, Eric?
Thank you. Before
We're not
Fred-
signing off.
Okay, I just thank you for your vulnerability and your honesty, and
Thanks
it's
for
pretty
having
cool.
me.
Yeah.
It was an honor to be here with you guys.
And I do want
tonight.
you to come back because I want to talk more about your emotional responding, because you do it wonderfully. So somebody, when she shares something great, you're like, that's great. When she shares something terrible, you're like, well, that makes me sad. That's good emotional responding. You don't make apparently, we all make mistakes. You seem to be a natural in doing that. And it is something that I teach people. I've taught people now for 10 years. And I have like 6 people that I'm like, they get it. I can't teach it, but somehow you know it. So that's something I want to look into.
Very cool.
She's just real.
So we're gonna do this Instagram reel right now, and we watch it and then we kind of comment
on
on
the
it.
big screen.
Behind Brian. And just as a lead in for everybody, you know, we love applications of emotional responding and relationships. And so if you are on Spotify, if you are on Pocket Cast or whatever, and you can't see it, we will just, this one isn't, there's not much visual to be bothered with, but you can certainly watch it on YouTube. And so we'll just watch it and get our reaction to it.
So we're sitting in a room and I'm watching the door. The door opens and he walks. The first thing I noticed, he had a suit, shirt and tie, haircut and polished shoes. That's respect. As he walked in, I just went, come here. He walked over, put his arms around me, hugged me and said, thank you. He then looked at you, didn't he?
Can I hug you? I said yes. But he still looks like this little boy, you see, this 15-year-old I last saw, and he's 26 now. And I said, hey, young man, do you know what? He went, what? I said, we forgive you. Move on and have the life Chris can't have. I don't know who got healed more by actually saying that, him or me or Ray, everybody in that room. It was like he took a sack off his shoulders and threw it on the floor, and I think we did too. Because you can say it, and then you can say it to the person who's hurt you. And that's another thing, isn't it?
What was his reaction when you said that?
Cried.
He just like I said, he just, phew.
He just cried because he doesn't think he deserves it, you see. Remember I called them animals? Well, I saw the human being, not the animal. I saw him the way Jesus sees him, the way he sees us. And that was remarkable. Truly is only of the Holy Spirit.
So we're sitting in a room.
And so they're referencing greeting the young man that had killed their son.
Yeah.
That's episode 188.
Thanks for joining us at the table. I'm glad you invited Kim back before you showed that because
Old man Hammond came around the corner. But no, I want to point out, I was bought into that clip the minute he said he showed up in a suit and shoes. That's respect. Like, you're judging the guy that killed your son. Like, wow. Like that he could be in the room with him. And to me, that's one of my favorite things to do is forgive people. Like, because it's like, you can't beat me. Like, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to forgive whatever. Doesn't mean I forget. I mean, there are people that I still describe as the late so-and-so, and they're not dead.
Oh, I like
They're not dead. They're
And then
just
they-
dead to me.
Right, exactly.
thinking that.
But, and I've said to people, oh, I forgive you. But because they said, I want to apologize and I want to be friends again. And I'm like, oh, I forgive you. We're not friends.
Absolutely.
We're never going to be friends again. But I do forgive you. But like, that's so baller. And for her to be like, that's how Jesus sees us. Like, you're getting rid of all the noise at that point. God, I love it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
It frees you and it frees that person that's transgressed against you. If they'll take that.
And sometimes it pisses them off.
Sure.
Oh,
Right.
what's the fastest way to end an argument is to like agree with someone, which is kind of a forgiveness in some like someone's yelling at you and you're, you know what, you're right. You're like, wait, what?
Right.
Hold on a second. It's like, where do you go from there?
But
It's
like,
hard.
not forgiving keeps you sick. At least me. Like, keeps me
Yep.
at physically sick. Like, when something's going on and I can't let it go, can't forgive whatever happened, I don't sleep. I do not.
How do you get out of it?
I do everything that like I usually works, like talk to somebody else about it, pray about it, go try to help somebody else with something completely unrelated to myself, and keep trying to do those things and rinse and repeat.
If only I just talked about that in church. That's crazy.
Amen.
It helps you get out of your own head. Go love somebody.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's the truth. But what you just said, so I'm a forgiver, but I'm a forgiver, wrap it up in a little bow. And I stopped doing that a couple years ago because then I became like a doormat. So now I am a forgiver, but I will move on in situations where I need to, like where you said the late person.
Yeah.
If it's that bad and if it's that deep, I will then forgive you and move on.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was
I don't encourage that.
Well, I didn't know that was an option
That's not
before.
healthy. No, but it's good though. It's
Sometimes you have to.
No, I'm not going to have a relationship with you anymore. So effectively,
Right.
you're dead to me.
Well, no, but the moving on part, I didn't
Yeah.
know that was an option.
Oh,
I thought you
sure.
forgave and like it was all
The
you had to-
forgiveness.
Back to zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
know
Now we're
that.
on to like magenta. It's not even numbers.
Magenta.
The forgiveness frees you, but then you still got to draw your boundaries depending on that situation and how
Boundaries
that-
versus borders. See, there's 6 more
Or how-
podcasts right here.
How about forgiving yourself in the
Ooh,
process?
Amy.
Ugh. Like,
But why not?
I know. I
Hey,
know.
Duke
Eric-
has had a rough day, and so
rough-
he is celebrating
Yeah.
the fact that this goes over an hour. Duke
Yes, he is.
sits at the table and he's always like, "You always cut it off when it starts getting good in an hour."
Oh, hi, Duke.
Well,
Yeah,
we've had a great hour and 10, and there's been a lot here,
good
and we
start.
will continue it. It's almost like we should do a podcast. That's it for episode
weekly?
188. Please make sure to give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
bye.
Bye.
Time for-